coffee. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy. Well, good morning, Glue Troopers, and welcome back to the humble abode of Max's Models. So I hope for all of you who are here in America, today is our holiday Labor Day. I hope you're all having a great Labor Day. So no content yesterday, just post-party stuff going on. Ken and I went out to the shooting range and we're doing some 100 and 200 yard shooting with 22s and rifles, and some 100 yard shooting with 22 pistols. And yep, we were able to ping the steel at 100 yards with a 22 pistol. So then we spent the rest of the day driving around Florida, a couple of middle-aged guys in a red convertible in Florida. We are the cliche, having a great time. So while we were pondering and talking about models, we got a call from Steve M, who told us that something we hadn't realized. You guys may be familiar with the Moon Eyes Dragster. I think Kennedy even talked about, you could, when the model cars were really big in the 60s and 70s, you could buy like the Visible V8 or some of these engines, and then you could buy the chassis that went with it and things like that. And they were really kind of along the line of educational toys. I mean, they were cool stuff, but still educational. Well, some of that stuff's back in production, of course. In fact, Moon Eyes Dragster is going to be redone, I believe, by Atlantis. Well, amongst some of the old kits, I had noticed that they were putting out the F11 Tiger in the Blue Angels markings. And judging by the box art, I thought it was, if I'm not mistaken, the old kit came with like 4 airplanes, or I may be thinking of the one that came with the Skyhawks. But I do remember you could buy I think Thunderbird kits, but I'm pretty sure there were Blue Angel kits that actually had multiple aircraft, so you put like a stand of them up. Well, apparently this kit's going to retail around $20, and I think it's only going to have the 1 airplane in it. So despite the box art, that might be a single model airplane in there. I think that needs to be made clear one way or the other, whether it's 4 aircraft or 1 aircraft, because otherwise you might wind up with some disappointed customers. Well, that kind of brings up another thing, completely unrelated. I was thinking this morning as I was getting ready to shoot this video, because remember, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about when I turn the camera on most of the time. A lot of times the idea for these little things just pops into my head just about the time I hit the switch. Sometimes while I'm talking to you, you'll see me go, ooh, one more thing. Well, yesterday I watched a video on the history of the Tupolev Tu-22 blinder. Now, there are a couple of Russian jets, Tupolevs, that had shared that number, but I'm thinking of the old one that had the engines on top of the fuselage, back of the tail, and pretty much a horrible airplane, but had a really impressive looking, if looks could kill. So I was thinking to myself, that airplane you could park on the set of Star Wars and it would fit right in. I mean, it wouldn't even draw people's eye away from it. It looks like it belongs in the universe. And I was thinking, now, not talking about the science fiction kits, but the actual real car and aircraft and tank and creature kits that exist, that are real world stuff. What are some vehicles, aircraft, trains, whatever, that you could put them in the Star Wars universe and they would fit right in? I mean, they look like they go there. Okay, so we said the Tu-22 blinder. I was thinking that Terra Cruiser vehicle that supposedly was supposed to carry the Matador and the Mace missiles, that's another vehicle you could put on the set of Star Wars and it would look like it belonged there. One could argue about half the Russian armored vehicles, but especially a lot of the experimental stuff. And when it comes to cars, I don't know, maybe a DeLorean. And then we have, oh my gosh, there's so many aircraft that belong in Star Wars. You could probably get off with parking a lot of the Century Series fighters, of course the CF-105, the the F-104 Starfighter, the really sleek stuff. A Vulcan bomber looks like it could go in there. You know, oh, the Victor bomber / Victor tanker. That looks like something that belongs on the set of Star Wars. And there are so many aircraft. I was thinking, you know, it would be kind of cool, and probably be in 1:144 scale, because that's usually what the Millennium Falcon models are in. You could get make a diorama of a spaceport and get a, what was it, the YT-11 transport, the Millennium Falcon. You could probably, if you could get some small X-wings and Y-wings and maybe a TIE fighter or two just to park around to sort of set the tone, and then populate it with wild-looking 1:144 scale jet aircraft. So, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be 1:144. You can make any scale you wanted. I just figured, as big as these things are, that would be the best scale. And you could come up with some pretty cool looking, like Star Wars, Mos Eisley Spaceport inspired diorama with a whole bunch of actual real world aircraft. Of course, you wouldn't use Air Force markings. You know, you put them in, you know, Imperial or Rebellion markings or something like that. But still, a lot of models that just fit in that universe really well. I'm sure somebody out there has done something like that. Ironically, there isn't really that much that would fit into the Star Trek universe, because it has that very rounded, smooth look to things. Tends to be a bit on the linear side. And if you were going to have something from Star Trek that would fit in Star Wars, the two things I would say would be the Cardassian ships and the Klingon ships. They could probably jump genres without, but the Enterprise with her long, smooth, sleek line just looks too Star Trek-y, too iconic. I don't think it can make the jump. So that was just an interesting thing that popped into my head to talk about. And oh, by the way, speaking of Star Wars, Round 2 just dropped a video, and they were showing, I think, some of the early shots. I haven't actually viewed it. I just watched some snippets of it because of time constraints. But I think they're about to. They were showing the new Razor Crest from the Mandalorian, that kit that they're working on. So not the big expensive $300 thing with all the internal parts. This is a smaller kit. I think it's about 1/72 scale, and so I'll probably get in one of those at some point when they come out. And I'm glad to see TV's giving them new stuff to make models of. Well, that's about all I got for this morning. I might get out and get a little model work today. Since it's Labor Day, I suppose I should labor in the TARDIS. I'm gonna start looking at that Terra Cruiser and Matador and the Vanguard, and start getting prepped up to start work on the build for the Cold War missile. Now, of course, remember, I'm probably going to need the pictures by September 24th, 25th to get the B-25 video done out on the 27th. I guess I should draw a hard deadline, so let's go ahead and say September 24th is the deadline for getting pictures in. And guys, if you don't make it and just want to send pictures of what you got so far, or that's okay. You know, we can always do a follow-on video at another time for, hey, this is stuff that didn't quite get in under the wire. Again, this is all in good fun. So, and then of course the Cold War missile video will be coming out. I plan to get that out on Halloween. So, you know, probably 5 days, probably say the 26th of October will be the deadline for those pictures. And I've already got a few of them rolling in. So I also have a bunch of photos that came in for the viewers builds. And so probably the next viewers build will be going up, number 20 will probably be going up for too long. We'll wait, see what else rolls in. But that's where we're at on that, guys. And I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Take care of yourselves, and as always, Model Line.